Hi everybody, this is a video to show you how to take through Design Space the bundle of files you get to cut this gift box, which is shaped like it's supposed to look like a rose bowl, and it has a lid on it which you can decorate with these flowers and leaves, which are also part of the SVG, to make it look a bit like a rose bowl. But then when you open it up, of course, you've got a gift box inside there. If I keep going back, there you can see it. And there. So it's a lovely, large, 8-sided gift box with this removable lid, and you decorate the lid with flowers so that when it's all put together, it looks a little bit like a rose bowl. And you get two kinds of ribbon that go around it and the bow that goes on the front. Everything you see in the pictures is in the SVG. Right, so let's go to Design Space and start to bring it in. It's super easy to cut, really. There's nothing difficult about it. In the file, you get the files to make the bowl. You get two kinds of ribbon, and those are the files that are going to cut the flowers and leaves. So we'll bring in the bowl itself first. Oops, just zoom in a little bit. Okay, so first job, as usual, when you bring in any SVG, which is a multi-part cut file which has got score lines, you've got to convert the lines that come in as cuts but which we actually want to be scores. And in my SVGs, they're neatly grouped together in that first group in your layers panel. So you just need to click on the name of the group. It's always the second line down in your layers panel. That selects everything in that group. There's just two sets. And then we go to the operations menu and choose score from the drop down, and you can see that those lines have been selected now. And because there's more than one set in the group and we're going to need to be able to attach them separately to the pieces that they relate to, we've got to ungroup them. So while they're still selected, you're going to click on ungroup. I'm using the desktop version for PC, so everything's neatly arranged around the layers panel. If you're on the mobile app, it'll be across the bottom of your screen somewhere. The next step is to click on the group below, which contains all the cut pieces, and all we need to do there is ungroup. And the third step is to ungroup the whole SVG. So we just click on that remaining group in your layers panel, or you can, why won't it deselect? That's weird. That was strange, wasn't it? It's been a little bit unresponsive today though. Anyway, as I was saying, your next step is to select everything on screen and ungroup it a third time. And so now everything's a separate piece online. The scores are separate, as you can see, and all the pieces are separate. So we can now attach individual sets of scores to individual pieces. You've got to do it that way. If you select everything and attach, you'll get a message saying that this project is incompatible with Design Space because it's too big to cut. So you're just going to click on one piece. Quickest way, I think, click on Canvas next to a piece. Just select that one piece and its scores, and then attach, which for me is at the bottom of the layers panel. There are no scores on the base, so we don't need to worry about that. No scores on the lid top, which is what that is, but this is a lid wall, and we need to attach those. Right, so obviously it's a 6-sided box. I don't give you 6 walls for the bottom and 6 walls for the lid to convert and attach, because that's just unnecessary work. Once you've done it once, you can just duplicate them so you end up with 6 of each. So if we just put those together, select those two, duplicate is at the top of the layers panel, so we go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so now we've got 6 base walls and 6 lid walls there. So these pieces are all small enough to cut from A4 or letter. If you're going to use A4, let's have a look. I was just wondering if there was another economical way to lay it out, but I don't think there is. If you were using A4, you'd need 7 sheets. If you're using letter, still 7. I don't think we can double anything up there. No. But of course you can cut it on larger sheets, 12 by 12. If you use 12 by 12, yeah, you see these little two it's put on its own. If you are going to use 12 by 12, go to that last mat and move things around, because obviously there's room for that elsewhere, isn't there? Again, we'll go to that little one it's put on its own there. Move. Sure it will fit on there. Yeah, lots of room. pop that down there. So if you're using 12 by 12, you'd need 4 sheets. If you're using, you can use tabloid again, obviously these are small pieces. You'd need 3 sheets of tabloid or A3, probably the same, I think. Yeah, 3 sheets of A3, two and a half really, about 2.5 sheets of A3. Okay, I'm not going to cut it, so I'll press cancel and I'll delete that. And now we'll bring in the ribbons. You get 2 kinds of ribbon, but they both cut and assemble in exactly the same way. They just differ in the way they look. Did I bring that in? Back to canvas. There it is. Okay, so same operation here. There are score lines on more than one piece, so we need to ungroup them. So click on the name of the group that's got those lines in that need converting. It selects everything in the group. Go to your operations menu, click on basic cut and choose score from the drop down. And while they're still selected, we need to ungroup them. If we click off, you can see that they've been converted. That's the only piece that's got scores, but we do still need to ungroup the layer with all the cut pieces in it, and we need to select the whole SVG and ungroup a 3rd time. And now we can attach scores to just these pieces. It's just the 3 pieces of outer ribbon that have the score lines. Don't worry yet about how this all goes together. As part of your download, you do get a PDF which shows you how to assemble everything. So these obviously are very small. You could cut them from a scrap of A4 in that case and a sheet of A4 for that one. Okay, so I'm not going to cut it, so I'll cancel. I'll just show you the other ribbon, even though they both cut in exactly the same way. They're just different patterns for the overlay. That's weird. Been a bit strange as Design Space today, a little bit glitchy. There it is. Okay, so again, you're going to click 2nd line down in your layers panel to select that first group, which has in it the lines that need converting. Go to your operations menu. It's currently on basic cut. We're going to change it to score. And while they're selected, we're going to ungroup them. Then we select the group below that has all the cut pieces in it and ungroup that. And then we select the whole SVG and ungroup that. A few different ways of selecting everything on your canvas. You can drag a box like that to select it. You can use that select all button there as well. Right, so now everything's a separate piece. We can just attach the scores to the pieces they relate to, which in this case is just those outer ribbon overlays. And again, you're just going to need 2 sheets of A4 in 2 colours to make that one as well. Okay, right, I'm not going to cut it, so I'll cancel. And I'll bring in the leaves and flowers. You do get, again, instructions in your PDF of what you need to make here. The whole box requires 7 flowers, and to decorate it, once the flowers were on, I cut 12 leaves. That's written down in the PDF, you don't need to remember it. But I'll just show you how I would organise the cutting of it. So first of all, we need to ungroup these because I want to be able to deal with them as separate pieces. So we need 7 flowers. That's the stamen for them, so we need 7 of those. So I'm just doing copy and paste from my keyboard here. But you could also use the duplicate button, however you do it on your device. So we've got 4 there. So I'm going to select all those and duplicate them again. So there are 8 there now, but we only need 7, so I'll get rid of 1. These are the flower backs. So obviously we need 1 of these for each flower, so 7 in total. That's 2 there. 3, 4, 5. I'm just doing copy and paste on my keyboard. 6, but you can also do duplicate up there. So there's 7 flower backs there now. As I said, and as I say in the PDF, I cut 12 leaves. So copy and paste. Select both, copy and paste it. So that gives me 4. Copy and paste. That gives me 8. And that gives me 4. So we've got 12 leaves. pop those over there out of the way. In fact, I'll select all that and move it out of the way because we need a lot of space for the petals. Right, so for each flower, you have a layer that has 6 petals and a layer that has 7, and the PDF of instructions tells you that for each flower you need 2 of the 6 petal layers and 5 of the 7 petal layers. So we'll deal with the 6 layers first. So copy and paste that. So 2 pieces of that is 1 flower and we need 7. So I'm going to copy and paste that again. That's 2 flowers. I'm going to duplicate just to show you that you can do copy and paste or duplicate. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers there. So if I select 6, that gives me what I need to make all my flowers. That layer anyway. Yep, 2 of the 6 petal layers for each flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flowers. For this one, we need 5 per flower. So I'm just going to copy and paste it. I've got 2 there, 3, 4, 5. So that would be as many of that 7 petal layer as we need for 1 flower. So I'll just copy and paste the whole thing now. That's 2 flowers, 3 flowers. You can use duplicate if you want to. 4 flowers, 5 flowers, 6, 7 flowers altogether. So those are all the pieces we need to make the 7 flowers that go on the lid at the top and the 12 leaves that get popped onto the lid in among them. So obviously this is all going to cut on A4, and I think chances are you're going to cut this on A4 because certainly I anyway usually use much lighter paper for flowers. Don't usually use anything much stronger than about 120 gram. So all mine, I use a lovely pearlescent stuff you can buy in packs of A4. So I'm going to choose A4 here. So obviously you'd need about 1/3 of a sheet for the stamens. Yeah, it's always worth looking at what Design Space does with the layout because quite often it won't do the most economical layout. So that flower back that's on its own, I'm going to click on it and move it to another mat where I know there is room for it. It's strange that it put it on a, I think it's because, yeah, it wouldn't go, you see, unless you interlock it, it wouldn't fit, and Design Space tends to think of things with absolute margins, doesn't it? It doesn't like overlaying them. But there you can save a whole sheet of A4 by doing that yourself. And then these are the petals, and these actually spread out quite nicely over A4. You don't need to worry about moving things around. You do get one on its own, sadly, but I don't think you will get that to fit in anywhere because they're pretty much jam-packed. If you're using 12 by 12, if you happen to be, you might get a more economical layout, but for just that one, you might decide you'll make a flower with just 4 of those petals maybe for that one if you don't want to waste a whole sheet. But if you want to make it with the right amount, you end up with 14 sheets of A4 in total for this. 1 for the stamens, 1, 2, 3 for the leaves. In fact, it'll be 13, won't it? If I press continue, yeah, gets rid of that blank green one. And we need 8 of the pink colour as I've got it here. I actually cut mine in a few different colours. 8 of that for the flower petals. 13 sheets of A4 in total. Right, I'm not going to cut them obviously. I've made all mine now. So that's that. I hope that's been helpful. If you have any issues at all when you come to cut it or assemble it, the PDF of instructions for assembly is really thorough with lots of photographs. Please don't hesitate to get in touch. No question is a stupid one, and I would rather you ask me 20 questions rather than leave an unhappy review on Etsy because if something doesn't work for you, I guarantee I can always help you work it out and you'll be able to make something lovely. So please do get in touch. The links to do that are in the description below. You can contact me on Etsy or Facebook, whichever you prefer. And if you've just stumbled across this video and you'd like to buy the SVG, the link to do that is also in the description. Thanks a lot. Bye.